Yo, guys, welcome back. Happy Monday. Good to be here. We had a little volatility over the weekend, but not too much. I wanted to go live today because we have only 3 days, 18 hours until the Litecoin Summit. I'll be in Vegas, actually starting like the 20th, so I only have like 2 days. I wanted to make sure I get a little streaming in. Hopefully I'll get in one more before I go. I will be making content while I'm there, so look out. There even is rumors, it's potential, that I may be emceeing the Master of Ceremonies crown at this event due to some circumstances that are yet to be disclosed. We'll find out. We'll find out like probably today if I'm going to do that. I'll let you guys know. Should be cool. If you guys want to go, it's in Vegas. Tickets aren't so bad. They're not like crazy like some of the events I go to. I think they're only like $200 maybe for a 2-day event. You go to litecoin.net/summit. Join me in Vegas. That'll be dope. So, to the charts. Good to be here, guys. Good to see you all. Love the turnout. We got like 100 waiting before we even went live. Love it. So, smash the likes. Woo, let's get hype. There's the chat. Get hype, smash the likes, subscribe if you haven't. You know the deal. Real quick, shout out to our sponsors. BingX joining the fold over in the last week or so. That promo is still live. No risk. I mean, there's no risk involved in the promo. You don't need to deposit. If you sign up, the first 100 people who sign up, and we haven't hit that number yet, get $100 of trading credit. You don't have to make any deposit. No real risk on your end. Do want to remind you guys, there's always risk on centralized exchanges, so practice safe risk management. You never want to have your whole stack on centralized exchange. They all have an inherent risk. However, I do, of course, bring you the ones that I find to be the safest. But there's always risk, so keep that in mind. Bybit, keeping our lights on. Shout out to them and Market Cipher. You're going to be seeing me use these while I'm live here today. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Check it out in the video description below. And that's about it. Let's get to the goodies, right? So for the Bitcoin chart, what's up? What's up, Jarslav? Ninja Glock, what's up, bro? DGen, love you, brother. Honda Man, my man. Big Tuna Crypto, yeah, buddy. UFO Nut, Tommy V, Tommy G. Joel, Joad Lamrani, Spin B, what's up, everybody? Good to be here. Let's get into some, let's get into a little TA. I want to do it a little differently today. I want to do some TA, but I really do want to spend time just chatting with you guys, especially because, well, it's just not that spicy right now. So I want to see where your guys' brains are at, what you're thinking. Remember to be chatting in the live stream. Chatting helps engagement. Vote in the poll, you know the deal. So let's jump into it. This is kind of the greater picture I'm looking at for Bitcoin. So we have some important levels. I think that's obvious. Down below us, we have 17.5, the untested low of June. I actually do have something very spicy for you guys. They're not going to find anywhere else. I have a feeling this is going to be another Tom Crown first, similar to the one that we had at the beginning of this month. And, well, we've already seen some people post about it as predicted. Trying to steal our TA. That's fine. We don't own charts. I'll go over that one as well. But let's get into it, the macro picture. So we have obviously resistance above us, about 25. That was May's low. Ever so slightly not back tested in mid-August. Above that, 30-ish thousand. Not a lot in between. Not a ton in between. We are definitely struggling with these descending trend lines. If we look at our all-time high from back in 2021, connected to 48,000 in March of 22, earlier this year, we see this red descending high trend untested. It would take quite a bit of upside action to even get there. Let's see what that looks like. If we were to go straight up today, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if we were going to go straight up today, that'd be a 45% gain just to hit that trend line. And you can see that that's still not quite to that resistance. There's a lot of upside that needs to happen before this chart is looking fresh again. Beautiful 618 here, right at that 25K level. Perfect. And if we zoom in closer, we actually have a second descending high trend right here. And that is from May to August side. Let's make this one red as well. Lots of red on this chart today. We can see that's a little bit closer to price action, maybe closer to the realm of reality at 6% up to test that. We can see it actually wasn't tested back in September. We did have a nice rally there. Wasn't actually tested, came close, but didn't quite make it. So we have two major untested descending trend lines. That's ripe. That's ripe for the fixins. If we zoom in even more, and we're really going to have to get a microscope on this one because price action has been so muted, we did have some volatility actually off of what the CPI numbers when we were live Friday, something like that. The next day, we did see a higher high get sold off, and we're basically back to where we were. This is not ideal, but there's something I want you guys to know. I want this to be on your radar. If we look here to October 11th and 12th, then we can also add 15th and 16th. We do have a potential double bottom here on the daily from our daily closes. If I can click the line, let me add that there. You'll never guess what price it's at. The price, the price that I have gone long from over and over and over again over the last 130-ish days here, 19,058. This was like an original trade of mine. Let me see if I can pull this up. All the way back here. Let me see. All the way back in this zone in like, what is this? July. Let me pull this chart up. This was the original trade on Discord. Let me grab it because it looks good. It's going to be hard to see. There's a lot there. Let's pull this up. Yeah, we'll pull them all up really quick just to gloat a little bit. Sometimes you got to gloat. So this was back in like freaking July. We were looking for a short at 21, stop at 22. We were looking for, but long. I don't even know what that one says. This is going to be hard to see because this was a long time ago. A lot of price actions happened since then. We looked to take some shorts. This is pretty much what I came up with as my master plan, and I'm going to pat myself on the back here. We had one of these trades stopped out. It was the most recent trade to when these were made. All of the other ones looking actually really solid. You can see down here, 19,086. All right, $30 off. Close enough. All the way back in June, we were looking for long positions from there, and it does seem as if that's still holding true. Pretty freaking wild. Actually posted an update. There's a little update here. I know it's hard to see. These are screenshots from a little higher, but this area is really the strong long zone, this 19,000. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed to work, doesn't mean it's guaranteed free money, but it has been, at least throughout this swing low here, it's been a pretty lucrative place to go long. And to see this daily potential double bottom, and really actually I didn't notice this until now. If we look back farther, there might even be more. If we look at September, is there more than that? No. September, we see kind of a daily order block here. We see support found in October there. We found support again, So 19,070 or 19,050, 19,080, whatever you want to call it. Pretty great level for plays. We'll see if that holds true, but this is definitely a support of some kind. Now, above us, and this is what's going to be important in my opinion today, right now, is just as we had kind of this double bottom formation, we also had a pretty harsh rejection from 19,300, 19,400. Yesterday, this was definitely more relevant. You can see the precision there. We had that little bit of volatility that rallied us up. It pretty much totally retraced before moving higher. We have not seen a back test of 19,384 here. It doesn't have to come, but that would be a very strong spot to look to take some kind of scalper trade. Not financial advice, guys. We don't give financial advice. It's not what we do here. I'm just walking through the charts, singing about what I see, singing about what I'm looking at. Let's check it out. We have 400 viewers. Nice, right on. Getting to the spiciness early. I dig it. Welcome, fam. If you haven't subscribed, smash the like yet. Let's get to 420 likes so we can continue our 420 license another day. That's right. What's up, Crazy Eye? You're looking at Ren. I haven't looked at Ren in quite some time. Who we got here? Renee Silva, my man, Ironheart. Ask Tether to print more USDT, and we'll rock it more. You know what's interesting is actually price action to the upside since the creation of USDT has been less. It's an interesting concept. People are, have all right to question Tether, not trust Tether. Shouldn't trust anything. That's what crypto is all about. But it is kind of undeniable that price action to the upside has been more muted since the invention of USDT. I don't know what to read into that. I don't know how to say that, but it is what it is. What's up, Nate? Quantum Divergence, Tom Pow, Giant Meteor 2024. We're asking for your votes. You are chatting, Wolfman, to help the stream. Thank you. Sweaty Dave. This is you engaging. LFG. That's right, bro. Ryan Mack, what's up, my dude? UFO Nut, looking for some spice. I like it. Super chat. Lucky Thoughts. How you doing, brother? I haven't checked in on your channel. Let me see. That's probably not the channel I'm looking for. Have you started creating content yet? Or am I just on the wrong channel? We'll find out. Let me pull this up. Where are we at? Where are we at with the likes? We got 112 likes. We have 500 viewers, guys. Those are rookie numbers. Let's get 420. This is going to be the alpha. Let's get 420 likes. Smash it for this because I'm going to show you guys the real alpha here. So just wanted to go over the chart quick. You could look for something like this. I'm not going to try to play this, but you can look for something around these lines. Look for like a nice 3-to-1 maybe here. Something like that. Play it just to like a slightly higher high. Who knows? But that is a support that is untested. Would be nice to see it. Whatever. Moving on. So this was the alpha. This is what you found here first. I'm sure people have copied it by now. I know at least one person tweeted about it with a big account on Twitter. Shout out to them for being on the charts, really. That's how I see it. Nobody owns a chart. So shout out for them to catch it. But we looked at specifically selling momentum on the monthly time frame for Bitcoin, and we came to a conclusion. Now, this isn't the whole chart of history. We could go look it back, but we've already done that, so I'm not going to do that. Basically, every time in history that we have seen selling momentum on the monthly time frame, like right here, if I can draw a line, every time we've seen selling momentum wane, but specifically close a candle on the monthly waning. That's the important part. Can't just wane intra-candle. Has to close. As soon as we've seen it close, we have had, historically, the bottom be in. Now, this, again, isn't the whole time. This isn't the whole history of Bitcoin. We did that in the previous episode, and we did show that in BLX, the full history of Bitcoin, that this is held true. So that does suggest, or gives us a little bit of hopium here, that the bottom may be in at 17.5. Does not guarantee it. I want to be clear with that. But if history fits the previous cycles, that would suggest that 17.5 was in. Something that you'll notice is that these waning momentum candles also came not right away. We didn't get them at the bottom. We got them 2 months later, 3 months later, if we look back, etc. Pretty spicy. Just wanted to rehash that. But the real spice, this is the new spice that I want to show you, because this is the old one, just catching you guys up. There is another piece of alpha that you're not going to hear anywhere else. You will eventually, but I don't think you'll hear it anywhere else quite yet, because we're on top of the charts giving you the cutting edge in everything TA Bitcoin. So here we go. This is going to be a little spicy, because I saw this yesterday and went, like, my mind just exploded, and I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I didn't see this. So Bitcoin has many charts. Of course, Bitcoin trades on many exchanges, and those exchanges vary. The prices vary, the highs and the lows, the volatility slightly. In general, what we see is Coinbase does most of the spot dumping. You can see that on volume. And Binance or USDT does most of the buying. So maybe you weren't wrong there about printing more USDT, my friend. However, there is another chart that we don't talk about that much. It has been a huge topic in crypto history. I'd say more so in like 2020 or 2019. This was like the Bible for trading. People don't really look at it as much anymore, but that would be CME Futures, and that is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange that trades similarly to traditional markets, as in it doesn't trade during the weekends or holidays. It has strict trading hours, unlike the rest of exchanges. And so draw your own conclusions here if this is a chart that's worth paying attention to or not. I personally have gone both ways. I've thought at times it was useless. I've thought at times it was very valuable. Not as much lately. You'll notice I haven't really brought it up. So I'm just going to throw these lines on here, and what you see are the open gaps. Now, gaps are created when markets are closed, and occasionally even when they're not closed on low time frames. But essentially, you'll see these values, and they're showing you where price closed and then reopened in the next week, and the price that was missed, the traded prices that were missed during that time. In general, I would say gaps fill about 80% of the time, maybe more, maybe less, that's an estimate, but more than not, okay? However, I do want to preface this as well is look at Bitcoin, look at Bitcoin's volatility in price, right? Look at all this bouncing. It is safe, or I think an intelligent observation to say, well, Tom, you could name any price, and the odds are that Bitcoin will trade at it again, right? I mean, if you say -10 or dajillion or whatever, silly answers obviously don't apply, but anything in kind of this rational area of value that we've traded, name a price, it's gone there, it's gone back. So for gaps to fill, makes sense. Simply, I mean, look at 20K. How many times have we hit 20K in the last, I don't know how many months, many. So is it simply just, well, price tends to go back to where it was, or do these gaps really have meaning? I don't know, but there's your little preface to CME gaps and kind of gap trading in general. What I want to show you, and this is the alpha, this is the hot take, this is what you're not going to find elsewhere. You will, as other people catch on, but you're going to get it here first. Something very interesting happened. Something very interesting happened. Let's see, on the 13th, on that wild volatility day on the 13th. So on CME, you can see that in June and July, it actually didn't reach the lows that the spot markets did. In fact, it only reached 18.5 on our dump in June, right here. No wick to the bottom, and that's likely, or it is because I'm going to guess, I don't know, that the low of 17.5 was over the weekend. Actually, was over Saturday the 18th. 18th. There it is. Yep. And you can see right here, CME traded the 17th. It closed. Then it reopened the 21st. And so, yes, it missed that whole wick, right? Pretty weird. It actually makes the chart very different. But the alpha here, if I can get my shit together today. That's right. Struggling. I'm on the struggle bus today. The alpha is very interesting. I wonder if anyone spots it before I say it. Feel free to put it in the chat if you do. The alpha is this. Ignoring that low because it didn't get it on the CME gap. On the 13th, CME did something very unique to the Bitcoin market or the Bitcoin charts right here. What did it do? CME put in a lower low at 17.8. So that's actually still a little bit higher than its spot 17.5 lows that we see on Coinbase and Binance. But what's interesting is that CME broke lower. It broke out of this range while the rest of the markets didn't put in a lower low. And that is eye-catching. Now, I can't say to you, this means it's over, we're going up, whatever. There's very little to draw from this other than this is very interesting, and I recommend you keep an eye on it. You'll see I have an alert set at 17.8 on CME for myself. This is pretty spicy. It did come within 2% of the spots low, and it got bought up. That is the spicy part. This is the spicy part. Let's zoom into the hourly. Everybody probably remembers Friday when we were live, this kind of wild whipsaw price action. That delivered CME to a fresh 2022 low. Probably a 2 or 3 year low. I don't even know at this point. But what I like is look at the buying response. Price pushed up. So let's tell this little story quick. CPI numbers printed and every market tanked, as we kind of expected. We've been seeing this month after month. Every market tanked. But what was very unusual Friday is despite these numbers coming in worse than expected, pretty much every market bounced. We're going to look at stocks. We're going to look at gold, see if this is true there too. This is unusual. This is breaking the pattern that we've seen month over month following the Fed. We have not seen a sell-off that gets bought up. And what I'm digging about Bitcoin here is look at this consolidation, dump. It gets bought back up above the consolidation. And what is it doing now? Well, we could argue, well, it actually kind of looks ugly. Maybe we have a descending trend. Maybe we have a lower high and we're going to look to dump back down, right? Yes, that's something that totally is reasonable to look for. But that hasn't happened yet. And what we're seeing here is a previous, let's call this resistance, dump, broken, now tested as support. If we see 19,155, and this is going to be a little different on spot, but on CME, if we see this hold, we actually have a very strong setup. We grabbed liquidity. This is a fresh low for CME, so they grabbed even more liquidity. They grabbed even more liquidity. Where's my chart? Versus the spot markets. But even on spot, we see that this was really spicy. This September 21st's low, that price just wicked below, and it was a slightly lower low, which technically would be bearish. You don't want lower lows, right? That's technically a bearish signal. However, with this bottom wick, what really happened is, yes, the low was invalidated. However, it really is clearly a liquidity grab. It just barely nudged below September 21st low. That scooped up stop losses, it scooped up orders, and it created liquidity, knock on wood, at least so far, for an upside move. With a double bottom on the daily, that's looking more likely. I'm really digging what I'm seeing here. I like this. That's obviously going to be invalidated on CME. We can even say, I don't know, 18.7, 18.8 down here under that previous resistance. That's going to invalidate this potential setup. But so far, I'm liking it, mostly because, well, we had a sell-off, but we're back higher than where we started from that sell-off. It seems to be holding as support. And we have this huge liquidity grab, tons of orders trapped. I like it. When September's low broke, by all means, when the September low broke right here on the 13th, a few days ago, we should have expected the market to dump, right? We would have expected it to dump under 17.5 to break the low. We have kind of a macro weekly, monthly low that breaks, and to see it dump into previous lows down below 17.5 was the logical, or at least the emotional expectation. It didn't happen. That bottom wick shows that buyers were very much interested at that price, and they defended these lows. We continue to trade sideways as we inch towards, I'm having trouble, as we inch towards this original descending trend line. If you guys have been here since the beginning of the episode, we're kind of building to this. We're inching to the right, and we slowly will intersect with this line. Unless we drop significantly lower, we will intersect with this line. It's something that's extra spicy in my opinion. I'm going to add this on the chart. November 2nd is our next FOMC meeting. We don't have one this month. You're letting me down, Chirpow. Chirpow, if you're out there watching, and I know you are, you love this show. Why are you doing this to me? Those are the most important days of the month to our channel, and you're giving us blue balls. Have one every month. Get on schedule. But the next one is November 2nd, and what's pretty cool, don't read into this too much, but it's pretty cool, is November 2nd, roughly at the price we're at, so if we stay in this range, November 2nd is when we run sideways into that descending trend. Now, that doesn't mean we're going down or up specifically, but it does imply that, hey, we're probably going to see some volatility right here. That adds up with what we're looking at on the macro with an FOMC meeting, especially with bad CPI numbers and unemployment numbers coming in. November 2nd, probably where everyone's eyes should be fixed. Definitely digging that. Word. So I got through that alpha. I have another thing I prepared. You guys may have seen it on Twitter or on YouTube. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, you should. YouTube, I do post in the community post things a good amount because I finally get a lot of engagement. People seem to like it. I posted this. This is not, wait, no, this one is the one I posted. I have an update to what I posted, and I haven't tweeted it. I haven't posted it on YouTube yet. So you guys, for tuning into the live, get the alpha first. This was what I'm calling price prediction according to puts and calls. So puts and calls are options, and essentially this isn't some magic creation of mine. This doesn't mean, like I think it's going to go this way, but I think it's interesting. Yesterday, this is what price should be according to Max Payne over the next few weeks. This has changed since yesterday. As you can see, Max Payne was actually ignored yesterday. Max Payne, or wait, no, that's for today. Technically, if today closes at 19,000, Max Payne is not ignored. It would have to sell off here in the next 5 hours. That's possible. But that would project a 19,000 close today, 18,500 tomorrow. And I guess the good news, into October 21st, when I'm in Vegas, baby, it would be looking for a bounce from that 18.5 to 19.5. I know, not crazy moves. Into a very slow move into the end of October at 19,000. And this is, I guess, where people have problem or issue with this is November 4th, we're looking at 20K. This looks pretty good. Like, I will say it, this fits. This looks natural. It kind of goes along with what we've seen here, kind of with these swing highs into swing lows, really just returning to that baseline at like 19,000. I think that this is pretty good. However, we're going to have to update this because these numbers have changed. So I've already done that for you. Not a huge change. Not a huge change. Basically gives us the expiration on the 19th at 18.75. Not really a huge change. It's really the same kind of pattern. But what there is, you'll see this little ... with suspense. I'm going to make this more visible. No. Get out of here, indicators. I don't need you for this. This isn't an indicator chart. This is just one thing in a bubble, focusing on it, just for a study. So the spicy hot take of this is it actually, and this is very long term, it actually leads to a move. And this is, again, not my analysis. This is just Max Payne. By the end of December, I can show you guys these numbers. By the end of December of this year, Max Payne is actually moved up to 23,000. That wouldn't be, in my opinion, a very good close. You guys know I have been long waiting and hoping and praying. Let me get this number. For a very specific value on this yearly close. And so far, it is not looking likely. And that's probably, in my opinion, like the best way for it to look because, well, the unexpected tends to play out. But that might be a little too much to ask for. I'm still looking and hoping for a 28,900 or above close. The reason being, we are currently in the first Bitcoin yearly bearish engulfed candle. A close above 28.9 or higher invalidates that bearish engulfed candle and sets us up and essentially for a more bullish 2023. That would be ideal. In my opinion, that would be ideal. So I'll show you guys actually how I got this. And I like this site. It is basedmoney.io. They don't sell anything as far as I know. They don't sponsor us. They don't pay me to say that. They don't pay me to say this. But if you'd like to check it out, I'll put the link in the chat. I like the site because it gives you in-depth data on options. And though it hasn't been as consistent as it's been in the past, we are seeing potentially, well, no, I'll rephrase that. In the past, we have seen Max Payne be very predictive of price. Will that continue to hold true? We don't know. If we don't close at 19,000 today, we will have ignored Max Payne today. If you go to metrics at the top, I think you have to log in an account, but like I don't pay anything for this. I don't know. It gives you a lot of cool stuff like open interest by strike price. And this is where I created this chart from. So first I like to set it to all because Deribit, I don't want to do it just on Deribit. I will object. This site used to have more sources. It's just bit.com and Deribit. I wish it had like Binance and whatever. Every other place that offered options. I know it's not just those two. And if we go to all expirations, all we have to do is look, okay, October 18th, boom. Max Payne price, 19K. October 19th, max price, 18.75. 21st, 19.5. 28, 19. November 4th, 20. December 30th, 23K. So these will change though. The farther out that these Max Payne or these options are, the more time they have to move around. So looking as far out as December does start to get a little murky. This is unlikely to be 23,000 by the time we get there, though it is possible. You can even go out to March 2023, and that's why I prefaced it with the farther out it is, the less reliable it is. March 2023 options, Max Payne sitting at 20K. I wouldn't put too much stock into these. I will say I've watched these year over year, and let's say, I don't know, in 2021, all of these Max Paynes were much higher. They were in the 50s, they were in the 40s, and they've all come down. So in that same sense, the opposite can happen. These can move up. Certainly the market doesn't have to move to Max Paynes or close at Max Paynes, but in the past we've seen it happen pretty regularly, and I think it's at least worth keeping an eye on. So is this going to play out this way? I don't know. It could. It's just a good way to measure. If you start seeing, all right, I'm seeing some like reversal signs here, and maybe today closed at 19K. It's like, all right, well, I'm probably looking for about 18.5, and I'm looking to probably have a pretty tight stop, like under the 13th, and aiming towards that 19.5 or something like that. It's a cool tool. I just wanted to mix it up today, do something different. I'm going to look, and I wanted to just deliver you guys some value. I'm going to look here really quick at stocks and gold, and probably just like all the Forexes at once. Let's just get an idea of what they're doing. So to update on the trades that we made in the live stream, US 100, NASDAQ, baby, did we snipe this on the 10th? We were looking for a fall to 10,600 money in the bank. Easy peas, right? This was kind of the doodle that I made, how I could imagine price action moving. And you can see that the doodle definitely wasn't spot on, but it wasn't too far from reality. We saw kind of a falling channel down to our target. It overshot it, bounced back up, kind of made this other kind of, let's see, this other shoulder-ish pattern. We do have a big gap here, so price may want to come fill it. But it followed pretty close. That trade, that locked in a solid 3% at a 4.5 risk to reward. That was a savvy trade. If you took that trade, claps to you. Please don't just blindly copy my trades, but if you saw this and said, hey, I see the reasoning behind that, I know how to set up a trade around this, good on you. That's the only way you should ever use my charts. Let's take a look at S&P 500. What did we have here? Why is that so strange? S&P 500 did get stopped out. So this one we got slapped at a 3.7821 risk to reward. We actually lost less than we gained on this. That's okay. But we got really slapped. This, I don't even know if I actually streamed this one. This one might have just been me. No, on the 13th, maybe. Basically, S&P had opened low, and we said, well, we have this gap above us. It would make sense to see that. This was still a good trade. I would take that trade more than once. This one did not work out. Price had a little bit more upside, it looks like, right? A little bit more upside. Kind of interesting. Their stocks are in a really weird position. I think this week is going to play out very strangely. They all have these gaps below them. Looks like they're consolidating. Gap fill there would be juicy, but hey, got to share the losses too. That's why I share the losses, because I don't want you guys to just blindly copy me. I don't win every trade. Let's take a peek at gold. Last time we were looking at gold, I was sketched. Still sketched. Gold really struggling, actually. Really struggling with, what, 1675 right here. This is the major support that freaked me out when it broke in September. We can see there's a lot of lines here. I'm going to get rid of some of these lines, maybe. Clarify this for you. Make it a little easier to see. There we go. Still looking for this move, in my opinion. This descending trend line, which is interesting and kind of calls back to what we were looking at Bitcoin earlier. Unlike Bitcoin, this descending trend line has been hammered by gold. We see the trend line was established up here at the top, 2065, when everyone thought gold was about to go ape. April 2022, perfect touch, lost support, perfect touch in August. Lost support again, and now back here. So what are we looking for on a technical level for gold? Pretty obvious to me. One, retaking 1675, that major support. We can see that was support pretty much all through 2020, 2021. Retaking that, good sign for gold. That'd be a good sign for gold. However, in my opinion, the more likely scenario, below us, that's just above 1600, 1614. If we break 1614, I'm going to be looking for a measured move to the downside, the 2 Fibonacci extension, looking just about 1500 on the dot. That is a psychological level. That is a historical support level. I think that's from like the monthly over here, just about 1500. That would definitely be my downside target if we see gold break 1614. I think that's in the cards. Anything's possible, especially with the FOMC in November coming up. But right now, just with the way it's struggling with that major support, it was a major support, now acting as a major resistance, I have a hard time betting positively on gold. I think that measured move to the downside is really where the smart money is going to be looking. Couldn't give you a time frame on that. Don't know how long that will take. But gold weakening during hot inflation is a strange setup, not a comfortable setup. Not a comfortable setup. No, I don't like this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and to me, it's implying something is really wrong with the market. Something's really, really wrong with global markets right now. Inflation is high across the board. Yet, gold, the inflation hedge, not performing. The only thing seemingly performing is the dollar, though it has found some weakness. We did have a very deep retrace to the 786. That is actually typically a bullish sign. Typically. Doesn't seem to be playing out right. Doesn't seem to be moving. What we might look for here is a bounce on our 618. That'd be about 111. We haven't quite reached that yet, but I could see the dollar playing out like this, down to maybe 111.5, and looking to make a move to the upside. What would that look like? I'm almost done. I'm going to get to the chat then. What would that look like? 116, 115 measured moves up here? Sure. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's not bad. Let's add a little box. Doo-doo. losing 111. I mean, you could still bounce at 110, but the real thing that everyone should have their eyes on is the dollar has not set any lower lows. It has been on a parabolic ripper since the start of 2022, even technically before then, back in 21. Look at this. Look at this ripper. It's like the dollar stole our bull run, man. The dollar is not supposed to be parabolic like this. What makes it parabolic is it has not broken really any lows. It hasn't set any lower lows throughout any of this. We'll see moves up, expansions, followed by contractions, but those contractions have never brought us to a lower low. So all eyes right now, at least in my opinion, all eyes looking at the dollar are looking right here at 110. If you break 110 on the dollar, you get that same thing we were looking at with gold. So say we don't find support at the 618, we come all the way down to 110. You're looking for a measured move to the downside. That may end the dollar's parabolic ripper. Now, we don't have evidence of this yet, especially not with the CPI and inflation numbers coming in November. There's really no reason to be bearish on the dollar yet, but we want to always be looking for what could happen. Measured move would be down at 106. Back to previous support. That makes sense. I hope this happens because equities, crypto, commodities, all likely to rejoice and see some relief in this scenario. But the macro isn't there yet. We don't have it. It's just a hypothetical. Until it can break 110, in my opinion, still in a parabolic rally, and I'm still looking for blood on the streets. If we get it, we know where to look. Who knows if 106 will hold, if it makes it there. So far, or at least at the moment, probably something like this. I'd still be looking for this move until something changes. Cool. Real quick, just glancing at all kind of major currencies, not all of them, but most of them. GBP actually seems very strong. GBP very strong after that little trip in September to parity or close to parity. We've seen it move back to resistance with a higher low, testing that resistance again. We may see another higher low, and that would suggest some upside movement for the GBP. I don't understand why, as the UK is printing money again. They seem to be in maybe some of the deepest financial trouble. I'm not sure why they would necessarily be performing against the USD. Maybe it's just simply oversold too hard. If we get another test of 1.14 and a higher low, we'll have one of our favorite patterns, which is the flat-topped ascending low triangle. They have a high probability of breaking to the upside. I would like to see that. That would be nice. If that happens, the dollar likely has some breaks put on it. Let's see. 1, 2. And if we see this pattern play out, which I can't be confident in, I don't see a reason to bet against the dollar yet. But if we do see this play out, I know that my 618 is at $1.26, but I like 125 better. Psychological. Very, very close. Let's just make that 125. Boom. That's probably where I'd be looking. Probably looking like 125. At that point, so much will have to have changed. So much will have to be going on a macro level that we'll reassess then. But we'll find out. I'm going to set an alert just above 1.15. There we go. Cuckoo. GBP looking fresh. Why do I never have the euro on here? I should remove the peso because the peso doesn't ever seem to move. Peso is just always where it is. There we go. Interesting notes, the SEK or the Swedish krone continuing to set all-time lows, just sinking into oblivion. It'll be fine, don't worry. You shouldn't worry that much if you're the Swedes. I don't think this will last forever. However, using all the TA that we just used for pretty much every chart we've seen so far, we speculated, likely to see 0.821. Likely to see 0.821 as support. Why? Well, that's our big measured move. We broke 9095, and so we're going to look for our 1618 and our 2 measured moves to the downside. Because there is no price action here, we are in price discovery to the downside on the Swedish krona, and that's what makes it pretty easy to kind of point out these levels. You're not going to find them as horizontals on the chart because it's never traded there. When charts are in price discovery to the upside or downside, typically you do look for a blow off top or bottom. So maybe something like this. Could see something like that play out. if there's reason to be bearish on the dollar. That would be kind of the blow off bottom before it rallies. That's probably the shape of price action I would be looking for. You can kind of even see it here. We're looking at the GBP, and the GBP had that flat topped ascending low pattern. Swedish krona could be painting kind of the opposite here with almost a double bottom on the daily with a so far lower high. If that continues to play out this way, I think our measured move targets are pretty much on point. Maybe see a back tested move, something like that. I didn't want to do too much Forex. CNY, this is the last one we'll look at, or the JPY. JPY having huge problems. They are deploying all kinds of financial and monetary controls to try to fit the yen where they want it. It doesn't seem to be working, does it? The yen breaking 1998's low. All the way down, breaking 1998's low. This is a 2-decade low, and it has not shown signs of chilling yet. Today we have a lower low. This is over a 20-year low. Where's it gonna go? I don't know. It's hard because we can use charts, we can use analysis, but when it comes to something like this, where the government is not just maybe doing stuff in the background, but they're like actively saying we're doing monetary control to repeg or whatever to the dollar. Charts don't have to act kind of the same way then. You know, there's other influences. However, this is a very steep decline. This is a very steep decline. It would be unusual for me to just see this drop off a cliff. I think the most logical is, well, I'm always looking for retracements. Maybe a retracement bounce back to 008, or maybe we fall down to 1990s low, and we could see some kind of consolidation just like we saw back here in 2020. And I mean, at that point, maybe you fall again. I don't know. That would probably be like the doom of the yen. Hope that doesn't happen. Euro dicking around near that parity mark. We're not going to spend too much time. Does have potentially that higher low flat top formation that we see on GBP building. Time will tell. I'm not so interested until it breaks a low or breaks back above parity. The euro, though, very important to the dollar as it is the most influential in the weighted basket. Word. All right, I got through everything I wanted to get through. What's moving? In the last 7 days, Hobby token, I ain't touching it. Guys, have you ever noticed that when the rest of the market is bleeding, a lot of these exchange tokens will randomly have kind of like pumps? I don't trust anything that pumps against the market. If it pumps against the crypto market, I don't trust it. Especially not 100% over the last 7 days. Maker up 10% over the last 24 hours. That might be an interesting chart to look at. Curve Dow up 10%. On these 7-day rolling time frames, we do see that we have some higher highs here. This is new, but pretty much can be attributed to, well, we've had a lot of downside price action. Yes. Curve Dow, Uniswap. What else? What's juicy? Let's see. I'm gonna zoom in here. We're gonna do the chat. Let me get a little bearing on where we're at here. I'm gonna flip through Market Cipher. Shout out to Market Cipher. It's my favorite trading tool. Let me get just like a little orientation on the short term here. 5-minute little sketch. No real reading there. 15-minute actually looking extremely strong. That is odd. That is odd. We can see this with RSI kind of battling to stay above 50, refusing to really give that up. What I definitely like here is our VWAP on the sell side moving up and our VWAP on the buy side moving up for higher highs and higher lows. And the big tell here for me, money flow reaching higher highs, not just locally. Looks like back October 14th. 5 days ago is the last time the 15-minute had this much juice. And that was what? Back here on that big run. Nice. Nice. So the 15-minute, I think, is leaning bullish. The 5-minute, I didn't really get a good read. Maybe like 10-minute it'll be interesting. All right. So the 10-minute, not as hot. Not as hot as the 15. Let's get 30. 30-minute. See, momentum here is nice. I like the momentum highs coming up, but money flow is not really agreeing here. We have a lower high on our money flow followed by a lower low. I think the 30-minute is looking to roll over. The only saving grace might be that the VWAP is looking to make an upside move. If it does, it'll have to make a pretty substantial one. It'll have to retake that previous money flow high. We'll have to see it on higher time frames, which we do get here. Nice. On the 45-minute, same thing with our higher highs of momentum. Higher lows on our VWAP, followed by higher highs on our VWAP. And what I just really like is our money flow is reflecting that same thing we saw in the 15 up. So far in the low time frames, I think I'm going to side with up. We might have some up skis coming. That goes against the call put price prediction. Spicy. Hourly, dang. So we have 15, 45, and hour. And the 30 is like the only contrarian. So what might be happening is we may see that 15 hourly, 45. We may see that pick up that money flow, kind of like what we were discussing when we first looked at that. Though it did break its low here, it might hold a higher low here and move to break its high. And that's what like the 45 and the hourly are looking at. Hopefully the 2 hour, maybe 3 hour will have the same thing. But I'm liking this on the hour, man. You had a high, you pulled back, and you've already broken it. The hourly kind of undisputed up, in my opinion, with this momentum reflecting that same price change. Here's where it gets sketchy. But it also has a lot of potential promise here. So the 2 hour hit a low, fell down, failed to break its low, and now it's right here at the zero line. Right here at the zero line. Momentum very high. However, it is rolling over. So typically, and I will say, I think the 2 hours looking to roll over, which lines up really well with some of the low time frames we just looked at. However, it doesn't have to roll over this second, even though it's very close. It can still do a lot of dancing down here with just slightly higher lows before finally moving over. So I'd like to see something on a higher time frame that backs that up. Let's see what this 2 hour looks like. This is just weird ass price action, man. Yeah, like your V capitulation, your V bottom bounce, and then you get this like kind of cupish rounded bottom. It's definitely not an Adam and Eve, as these prices are too far. They're both at macro levels. So they're definitely not an Adam and Eve pattern. I guess you could like maybe call it cup and handle, but I don't really like that either. I'm not really sure what this looks like. It's very unusual. Look at it this way. You have like a blow off top into a lower high with this rounding. I don't know. That's odd. It's unusual. You don't see it. You just don't see price action this way that much. No bearish divergence near low time frames. RSI sitting above 50. Okay. So the 2 hours just giving us questions. The 3 hour, okay. 3 hour, really similar to the 2 hour. Money flow, just so close to rolling into that positive zone. I'm waiting for the 4 hour. Here we go. Waiting for the 4 hour. If the 4 hour moves lower, if the money flow moves lower, kind of reflecting the 2 and 3, it breaks the previous low on the 12th, breaks the previous low on the 9th, that's looking to roll over. I like that. That, for me, will confirm much of the low time frame that we just looked at. How many hours for the 4 hour? 38 minutes. Perfect. That's what I was hoping. This 4 hour is wrapping up very soon. Very soon. I like that. I actually really like that. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. 5 minute was undecided, but I'm leaning bullish. I'm leaning very short term. I'm leaning towards the upside. Let's see. 19.3 would be the 0.5 retrace. That wouldn't be too shabby. 5 minute is janky, man. You got like this potential head and shoulders that just hasn't played out yet. Then you have a untested support directly below. That's what I'd be worried about. It's not there. 15 minute, 45 minute, hourly are all looking, in my opinion, for some continued upside. What have we got? I know I said I would read chat. I would do this quick. I suck. If you want me to read the chat and stop charting, smash the like buttons. And if you're here, put something in the chat. Put like an emoji in the chat. Put a wave, put a hi, put anything. Let us know you're here. Help hype it up. Gets us more viewers. YouTube shows our stream to more people when you guys interact with the stream. Where is it? Where does it have the room though? Where does it want to play out? 618. There we go. Julio, you. I love you, brother. All right, I think I'm going to. I think I'm good. I don't know if I can divine any more out of here. The 5 minutes like just very uncertain, but then when you get out to say 15, you get out to 45, hour, 2 hour, and then into like 3 and 4 hour, you have like that potential for all to roll over at once. I think what that means is I should look at the daily on Market Cipher. It's ugly with this lower low here. It's ugly with this lower low and money flow. You do have a little bit of waning, a little bit of exhaustion down here, but I don't like this. That's the opposite of what we saw in the lower time frames. I do like that VWAP's coming up, so the daily may have a little bit more strength to the upside. We're really going to need to see that money flow go back to positive. It's still far away. It's not what I was hoping to see. This is some very tricky time. Very tricky trading. Let me get to the chat. What's up, Tony Stark, my man? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Sin, you are the best. Cobus wants to look at XRP. How you doing, Cobus? We can look at XRP. Beans and Rice thinks XRP is trash. We have all kinds of opinions here. Could be an Adam and Eve. That's kind of what I was dismissing, because an Adam and Eve pattern, you would need this. So, I mean, it could happen. It could play out in Adam and Eve, but we don't have it yet. It would have to be something like this. Adam and Eves are typically, well, Adam and Eves are defined as a double bottoming pattern. They don't have to be exactly double bottoms, but to me, this is just like too far from the pattern to actually call it an Adam and Eve. This kind of looks like a whipsaw to me. Just grab liquidity, return price to the median. What I do like is that it's aiming back up, and our low time frames are kind of drinking in that money flow, promising, or not promising, suggesting maybe a little higher to go. But thank you for the comment, Henrique. What's up, DGen Alchemist? They will do whatever they want. Yeah, true that. Crypto needs Red Bull. What's up, man? Does crypto need Red Bull? We have 353 likes, or 353 votes on our poll. 42% looking bullish for this week, 32 bearish, 26 crabbish. I like it. We have 520 viewers and we only have 250 likes. Guys, I hate to do it. I hate to say it. I need you to pick up your finger, put it down, click that little thumbs up button. Let's get our 420 license. We can do it. If you haven't subscribed during the live stream, it looks like we only have one per. That's impossible. I'll say it again. I live in my own reality. I choose not to believe that only one person is subscribed. Jack Spud. What's up, Jack and Spud? If you are the only one who's subscribed, you're the man. I love you. You took the stream subscribe-ginity like a champion, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, that is the biggest engagement. You know what? It might not be that far from reality. We started the stream with 66,500 and change. And now we only have 66,520. That is actually very, very few. Very few. Holy crap. Less than, I think like maybe only 10 people. What? What's going on? All the retail's out. It's boring. It sucks. What's up, Amir? Get that 420 right on, bro. Stu JK. Teach how to use the fib tool on TradingView, please. I have a video. Have you guys looked at that new playlist? I made a playlist that actually has a little bit of education on fibs. It is pinned to the top of the chat. I'll put it in the chat. It didn't work. Didn't work. But I've been putting out, keep an eye on that playlist, guys. We're publishing at least like maybe 2 a week, all educational, all kind of geared to be more layman than the live streams, which are really difficult to understand that. Robin, I missed your super chatter. You just did it. Appreciate you, Robin. Thanks for all you do, man. Or lady. I don't know, man, lady. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. Let's can play it.
Thanks for all, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Appreciate you. Short for that? No, I don't know. Joshua Tree, you'll unsubscribe and resubscribe. So I don't think that does anything. I don't think that tricks YouTube, unfortunately. I don't think it does, because it doesn't announce it. For me, it only says Jacket Spud has subscribed while we're live, which is wild with 500 viewers. Maybe it's because we don't have enough likes. Guys, if you're slacking on the likes, it's okay. You can redeem yourself. Let's get 420. Let's blaze it. I'll give out some memberships. That's right. What's up, Marmar, Falcor, Emmett Scully, Bitcoin only. I like it. Faraz94 VeChain. I haven't gotten any alerts on VeChain lately. What's up, Dario? Aggregated IO is up for the last 1.5 weeks. It's going to get spicy. It is going to get spicy. Market makers grabbing for the subs. I know. They're trying to steal them all. We need you to read the chats and we'll send likes to the moon. Well, I'm reading the chats, Arnold Franco. I'm reading it. It's hard. I got to get through like the alpha and the important, the value, and then I can read the chat. So now I'm on the chat. Bro, you have to make a streaming with someone here of Brazil. Henrique, you send me a Brazilian technical analyst and I'll have him on. Please say chirp pow, chirp pow, chirp pow. I have a question, chirp pow. Where is Gina? November 2nd is where Gina is. We'll see her soon. Good afternoon to you, Sir Munchalots. What do I think of the QNT chart? Last time I looked at QNT was a few weeks ago. Someone asked about it. It was trading under $152, and I said, I'll pull it up. I said, if it breaks $152, I'm interested. I think it has further upside. Shall we look back to see if our prediction was correct? Gina is fired, that's true. What's up, Gas? Gasper. USDT. I don't know what that chart is. It made it. Over 152. Next resistance, I guess, oh man, that's actually kind of brutal. It's right there. This is, let me see. I know I had an alert go off, but I just wasn't that interested. It has made its 618 retrace. 175, nice. It has broken through this zone of resistance, was support, then acted as resistance. Looks like it's broken through, not bad. You have my attention. QNT. Let's see. As always, when we looked at it as it was approaching resistance, we said, yes, it can continue through, but if you're dying to take a position on it today, I just caught a fly or something, moth. Short is going to be the answer because you're at resistance. And it sucks. But going long into resistance is a risky play that I don't typically practice. But I did say, I remember, if QNT breaks 152. Maybe it was 175. I don't even remember. I thought it was 152. Then I'd be looking for further upside to at least 175. It looks like that broke as well. 290? You're looking at 290 maybe? Something like that. 290. That's what I'm looking for. We did not get a back test. I still would not go long here. Even if I think 290 is coming, I still wouldn't go long on the screen weekly. I really would. I'd rather miss the boat than board the Titanic. So maybe I'd look for 175. Maybe I'd split 175 and 150. My order. Something like that. Not financial advice. I don't do financial advice. You have to make your own trades. This is how I was looking at it. I do think this inverse head and shoulders pattern is playing out, though. Can you see it? That's why we're looking for the back test and the drop, aka the back test and the rally, because it's inverse. Chart looks good. Does look good. Weekly money flow rolling over. Momentum is up. On the week, momentum is up. It exceeded its high in August. That's good. You don't have bearish divergence on your RSI on the weekly. Not bad. Disclaimer, I own some QNT, I think, but like, I don't know. If I own one whole QNT, I'd be surprised. I should check. But I think it looks good, man. I'm going to put an alert at... Oh, they cut the effing corn. They've been cutting the corn all week, all month. And I can't stop coughing. It's awful. Like, I'm not sick. It's just an absurd amount of corn. I live around, like, I don't know how many square miles of corn in every direction. And when they cut it down, my allergies are nuts. Well, there's QNT for you. There you are. Don't say I never did nothing for you. Actually, back test at 175 is looking very spicy. Very spicy with this little on the hourly lower high, higher low. Money flow's beasting, though. I don't know. If you can't catch the trade, if you can't let the trade come to you, I don't take it. What's up, Keybird BG? Live free or die. Mohammed, we live, man. Shout out. We're live. Thoughts on ADA? Ian. How you doing, man? XMR testing. I actually I tweeted about ADA. There you go. That's probably why you should follow me on Twitter if you don't. Tweeted about ADA like yesterday. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. We had, of course, we placed this, I think, pretty recently. And we said, welp, this is a bad pattern. We look for this to break to the downside, but what we can do is we can look to take a long. The reason we can look to take a long is because we can pretty clearly define where we're going to put a stop. So we are not in the best position on this. I think we've actually placed this trade multiple times. Let me see if I can pull up another one. Pretty sure I placed this multiple times. Nope, not that. Why? I need to hire someone to go through my charts and like delete old crap. 2210 70. Here we go. Is this it? Let's see if we got a better one. This is the one this is the one I tweeted. This is the one I tweeted. This is the better play. Basically just looking to take a long at what? 36.1 cents. Why? That was our previous resistance back in May of 2018. Solid reasoning on the weekly. It was a consolidation point on the way back up. Now we're looking for this. What's nice about this is, well, I wouldn't take this trade on leverage, period. I would only look at it on spot. You got to make your own decisions, not financial advice. I would only look for a spot trade here. And basically what you're doing is just looking, well, if this weekly holds, and what you could do, whatever makes you more comfortable, you definitely could have this stop loss moved up. I just had it down low originally because I prefer to keep close to a 3-to-1 risk to reward. But I think with that weekly close, because it hadn't closed when I posted it, yeah, I think maybe you could even argue something like that. Move that stop just below last week's low. I'd be more comfortable with the monthly close below. And then you can really look for a really quick scalp. Like you might even only need to move back to what this weekly order block, like 42 cents for a 3-to-1. I don't know. I'm glad that ADA broke its low and didn't instantly crap the bed. I think that's a good sign because basically we were looking for this flat bottom descending high pattern. And with this new low that didn't just nuke, could still happen, but it didn't happen yet. With this new low, we're actually going to start looking at it as a different pattern. We have a lower low, so we no longer have that flat bottom. What we have is potentially a descending channel, descending wedge, really however you want to look at it. This is just real sloppy. I'm going to lock this thing so I stop moving it. Lock. Something like this. Ta-da. Ta-da. Uh-oh. My OCD is kicking in. There we go. Maybe you have something like this. So maybe you have what? Rejection down to the bottom of the trend, move it back up. I don't know. I could see that playing out. But the lower low is actually good on a technical level because it didn't nuke. You kind of got rid of, you've hit those stops, you've created the liquidity, and the market decided not to push it down to what, 19, 13, 20 cents, something much lower. I think that's a sign of relative strength. I'm going to tune into Bitcoin quick. We had low time frame. Nice. We had low time frame bullishness. The 5 minute, I said, I'm not really getting a good read here. This was like back here. 5 minutes starting to kind of move into alignment with those bigger time frames we were looking at, 15 minute, 45 minute hourly. Moving into alignment with that, money flow racing up, VWAP still pushing up on 15. 30 minute, that, I don't trust this yet. The 30 minute was like kind of the only, it was the one we weren't as confident in. Still leaning bullish, but like, it wasn't as confident as the 45 or 15, whatever. Here we go. We said, all right, well, maybe we will get, because we have these other time frames looking bullish, especially the shorter ones, and then the ones kind of sandwiching it. Maybe we'll get this without breaking this low here, and we'll move to break a higher high on momentum or on money flow. That is kind of what it's looking like it's doing. I'm not gonna lie. That does kind of rhyme. Kind of rhymes. 45 minute. This is smooth as butter, and I love it. We're seeing momentum potentially pinch here. That money flow so smooth, and VWAP down here looking to roll over. I think the 45 minute is saying LFG, like let's go. You might get some kind of liquidity hunt before a move up. but it's definitely looking like it wants to move up. I don't know if this is going to fill. I don't know if this is going to fill, man. I typically don't like this. I typically don't like symmetrical triangles. People love to call them bull flags, but they do not, in crypto, they do not seem to play like flags. I will tell you that. Although, it's kind of like SOS looking. The only reason I might be a little more confident in this is because of the price action that preceded it. You see, it was resistance, it rejected price. And the fact that it's kind of consolidating into the symmetrical triangle directly above that kind of reminds me of a Wyckoff SOS kind of move where you get a bull flag that plays out, symmetrical triangle that actually breaks to the same direction. And honestly, the only reason I'm saying any of that is because a lot of these low time frames are pointing up. Dig it. Let me refresh the chat. 345 likes, guys. We have 520 viewers. We could get to 420 right now. Literally right now, we could do this. As a team, all you have to do is smash the like button. We have 350. We only need like 70. That's like 1 out of every 10 of us has to hit the like button. We can do it. Ooh, we do have some more subscribers. Shannon Burgess, welcome. Robert Thatch. Jogaya. DeJord. Kranich. What's up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure you jump in the Discord. If you're joining us for the first time, jump in the Discord. Once we get 420 likes, I'll give away some memberships. So get hype. What are you most bullish on? Chaos Reload. Man, what am I most bullish on? Ooh, we have 420 votes on our poll. We can have 420 likes. Let's go. LFG. Man, what am I most bullish on? The dollar. Like, I feel disgusting saying it out loud. I feel disgusting. I hate it. I don't like it. There's very little to be bullish on right now outside of the dollar. That can change in like a day. That can change in one slip of the Fed. I'm perma bullish on Bitcoin. Doesn't mean it has to go up today or tomorrow, but over time, it's got a trend. Glasses. Noodle. LTC, of course, says Crawler. Sure. Actually, I'm bullish on LTC because I'm going to Vegas to the LTC Summit in like 3 days. You should join me if you're in Vegas. Trey Bay, what's up, man? Mohammed Abbas, welcome. Good, we got some more subscribers. See, I refuse to believe it, and reality changed for me. Bullish on Dixie. I know it's embarrassing, Casper. Just plain crazy. Buy hard 6K to 8K if it ever gets there. I mean, if it ever gets there, even I'll be a buyer. I talk with actual facts. Thank you, Fab. I try not to talk with, I don't know, out my butt. I just share what I'm seeing. I don't know. I don't have any angle. That's why I love having our sponsors. Check out our sponsors in the video description below. Use my links. So I love having sponsors, though. I just like nobody influences what I do. I can be bullish or bearish on whatever the hell I want, and there's nobody can influence that. Like, they don't pay my bills. Daddy Bybit and Bing X pay our bills. So there's no conflict of interest. All right, 381. We need 40 more likes, 39 more likes. Please smash the button. Then subscribe. Enable notifications. Enable notifications for YouTube on your phone. Do it. We can do it. You ate lunch like a dumpster goblin. Fascinating story, Wick. We're just slowly waiting for Bitcoin to move up. Slowly. Waiting for 420 likes. Guys, if you're here, put something in the chat. Put a fire emoji. I've never actually said any, I've never done this before, but I saw a lot of streamers on TikTok and stuff are like, if you're here, put in this emoji. Put in a fire emoji. Let me see how people do it. What's up, Crypto Surf, my man? The Engagement King. How you doing, man? Hey, Daddy. How you doing, Amir? When's Bitcoin going to all-time high? Before the decade's over. There we go. Let's get some fire emojis going. What's up, M Stone? Jesse M. Sin. Hello again. Dusto, Wick, MF, Mr. MF, Mr. Muffer, Crawler, Gasper, Lewis, Anthony, Sharifi, Frankfurt. Tom, shave your beard. You'll be hotter. Well, I mean, are you hitting on me, Shafir? No, I do. You're right, though. I do need to shave my beard. It is way too long. I'm just nervous. If I shave it before Vegas, what if it's too thin and too small? Like, then I'll look like a baby. 8,125 audio. What's up? Who did I miss? Michigan Mids. Michigan Mids? You should believe in yourself more. You're Michigan headies, buddy. Lois Lombard. Henrique. How you doing? How you doing? Got some fires in the chat. Alex S. What's up, bro? What do you guys want to see? What are you thinking today? What are you guys vibing with? What do you want to see? Wick saw me on Frankie Candles. I love Frankie Candles. Good dude. Dude, he's slaying it, man. There's so much like weird hate. I'll just gossip while you guys decide what you want to see. There's so much like weird hate with creators against each other, and I have none of it, man. I welcome everybody. I'm a lover. You guys know that. I don't talk crap about people. I just love people. If they don't like me, I love them anyway. A lot of people, I'm sure, are kind of like jealous of Frankie because of the growth he's had in a small amount of time. So dumb. Don't hate people for success. Even if you feel like you're working harder, don't hate. Just team up. Learn what they're doing right. Learn from people, man. That's how I learned how to do all this. People ask me how I learned TA. Just from watching other people and like collaborating and listening and like watching people and being like, wait, that doesn't really work. Like, I've seen you do this a few times. I haven't really noticed it worked. Maybe that doesn't work that way. I'll try it a different way. I don't know. Joshua Tree, Ian Mackey, Lost Prophet, Chimpy Phil. What do you guys want to see? Zabudu. Love you, bro. Kevin Law. You waiting for these green candles? Lorio. We have a crypto diva in the chat. Welcome, Lorio. Good to have you. The Candle Mafia. He had a great platform to launch from. Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. But the dude is legit. You guys know I don't say that about many people. I mean, is he Tom Crown? We're all Tom Crown, so of course he is. Frankie's a good dude, yeah. Lifer's a good dude as well, I agree. Do spot trading, Tom. Otaku wannabe. I mean, I could do spot trading. It's not so spicy for content. Jealousy is childish. It's a waste of energy, bro. You're letting people live in your head rent free. Another creator chat banned you the time I said, how do you chat? That sucks, Em. Yeah, other channels didn't like us as much, but I think we've finally like proven. We've ground ourselves into the fabric of crypto YouTube. How you doing, 100 A here? Do we have 420 likes? Guys, we have 409. 409 likes. We need 11 likes. We have 520 watching. Why do I don't want to keep bringing this up. Just hit it now. Let's get 420. We're done. We're done. We give out the memberships. We'll get hype. By the way, because we're approaching 420, make sure you're subscribed because you can only win if you're subscribed. Make sure you've opted into gift memberships. I don't know why you have to opt in. But start putting some hype in the chat. The more you engage, YouTube says the more you engage with the live stream that you're gifted the memberships from, the higher probability you are to receive them. There it is, 420. Let's go. Let's play our hype music. Ooh, it's loud. Careful. Sorry, speakers. Spam the chat. Sorry about your speakers. I don't know how to control the volume of that. I apologize. But we have 420 likes. Bitcoin is following our arrows. I mean, what more could we ask for? And for that, we will give out memberships. So I'm going to give you like 60 seconds. Put something in the chat. Because it will help you win. Let me see. I'll read. Lost profit. Is that pattern on Bitcoin a diamond? So it could be. It could be. It absolutely could be. That's actually not a bad take on it. Because it has the characteristics of a diamond. Has the diamond characteristics. I'm just going to stall while everybody gets like a little bit of engagement in, so they might win. So they get a little extra bonus potentially winning. Want it to be fair. Yes, this could be a diamond. How would we cut this diamond? Probably say something like this. The reason I say that diamond is on the table, diamond typically reversal pattern, is we had consolidation. This is the Tom Crown definition of diamond. I made this up. I don't know if this is really what it is, but in my experience, this has been Held pretty much true through diamond reversals. So you have consolidation followed by a break of your range. It can be to the upside or the downside, doesn't matter. Break of your range to a lower low or higher high. From that lower, higher high, you reverse and you do the same in the opposite direction. So we went from a lower low to a higher high. And then what happened? We returned to the consolidation. So actually, that's a really good eye. I think a diamond is probably the correct call here. Probably the correct call pattern-wise here. Good eye. I appreciate that. Bravo. Pat yourself in the back, Mr. Lost Prophet. Ian Mackey. Did I see Cohen's video Will Bitcoin capitulate? No, I did not. I do love Benjamin Cohen. Very talented, very smart guy. But I don't watch all of his content, mostly because I don't want to like incept that idea in my brain and then think it's my idea and like take credit for something. You know what I mean? Try to stay unbiased. But I do watch when people are like, hey, he had a really good one. Then I like go and watch it. All right, let's gift out the memberships because we hit 420, 427. Those numbers will just keep cruising. Spam the chat. The memberships are going out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're dropped. Well, I guess I have to pay for them. What? Why do I have to pay for them? I'm just kidding. They're going out. YouTube's processing. Ta-da! LFG fam. Make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure you've checked out the recent newest publications on our Trading for Beginners playlist. And make sure you've checked out crownanalysis.com. There should be maybe a new article tonight. It's taking a little bit. There we go. My PayPal has been charged, and we are ready. Kevin Law! Kevin Law! Renee Silva! Renee Silva! That's a big W. That's a big W, boys. I'm not going to let them all play because it's obnoxious. Alert box off. We have Kevin Law, Renee Silva, my man, an OG of this channel. You deserve it, brother. For like years of being here, you deserve it. Dario Rosenberger, George Gadwick, and Sock Insanity. Great names, handsome names, great people. 5-star men. 5-star men. I'm a 5-star man. I'm a 5-star man. I dig it. What do you guys want to look at? What do you guys want to look at? We've been live for like maybe an hour and a half. If there's anything you guys want to look at, let's look at it. How long have we been live? 2:30. I started a little late. Damn, we've been live an hour and a half. All right, with like 500 viewers, I'll take it. What do you guys want to see? We're going to wrap it up. So get them in. Get in the requests. Let's end this poll with 500 votes. Most of us are leaning bullish. Interesting. That's not the par. That hasn't been the case. AVAX, SNX, XRP, Ape, Matic. Why are you not in the United Emirates, Dubai? Live free or die. I would love to go to Dubai. I'd love to go to to the UEA. UAE? I'd love to. Waiting for my invitation. H-bar. When I look at Link, Sandbox, and Cardano, Ricardo Chong, that is a lot. More likes than viewers. That's right, because we have the best dang show on the internet. That's right. BTC Weekly, Derek Mural, Eth. We could pull up Ethereum. We haven't looked at Ethereum today. Ethereum skunked us the last trade we tried to set up, so I'm kind of pissy with it. That's probably why. I'm pissy with it. It never filled. It skunked us out. We had tight stop loss, though, luckily. Let's see. Traded down to 1190, not bad. Never reached that 1350 though. Really the same pattern as Bitcoin. Same thing going on here. Got a little diamond skis. You consolidated, you fell to a lower low, you broke to a higher high, you moved back to the consolidation. So, I mean, looking for a diamond. 1350 resistance above you. That's going to be the boss. It's going to be the boss battle. This arrow remains true. People said, what do I think is going to happen for Ethereum? And I said, this is my prediction. So far, so good. So far, so good. I mean, I was on Team Diamond here, but actually, this is starting to look, this potentially starting to look inverse head and shoulders-y. With your, what? This would be like kind of your shoulder line at 1,280. That's actually pretty spicy. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's happening? Crap. There we go. Yeah, until it breaks 1350, I'm just really not that excited. We had a short play kind of looking for 1350 down to 1280, didn't hit. Stopped us out on our long. Until you break, you gotta break. You gotta break the range. You dabbled in your previous resistance back here. This is what we were looking for. We were looking for 1250 all the way back here. Back in like September or August, I don't remember. We hit it and now we're just sticking around. So not a lot going on there, actually. I'm going to lock that one too. Don't take your word for it. Look at the statistics. The whole new validator scheme. What? Ethereum? Yeah, I don't want to FUD you guys, but guys, Ethereum was really never a decentralized chain to begin with from day zero. And then they migrated to proof of stake, and I said to everyone, I'm skeptical on this. I'm skeptical because that's a big task to undertake, and it does not move towards decentralization. It really kind of moves it more towards centralization. Not FUDding. I'm not selling on my Ethereum or something, but I'm not really, I'm not at all looking to invest more in Ethereum. I'm looking to maybe get out of Ethereum if we see a nice rally on the BTC-ETH pair. That's my personal strategy going on here. Inverse head and shoulders could get spicy, that's true. Did they solve the gas fees? No. Not even close. What's up, David Scott? No problem, Kevin Law, you're the man, dude. Gas gets fixed next year. I mean, we'll believe it when we see it, right? Honestly, and that isn't even about Ethereum. In crypto, whenever Debs promise anything, every single time, you should just say, I'll believe it when I see it. And it doesn't mean you don't believe it'll happen. It just means you're going to wait till it actually exists to get excited about it. Because that is a trap that I've fallen into. And most people have fallen into in crypto over and over and over again. Devs never deliver on time. They sometimes don't deliver at all. Doesn't mean you can't be hopeful for Ethereum, but just don't get excited. Don't get excited about dates. Don't get excited. Like the Ethereum proof of stake merge was proposed in 2015. Finally happened in 2022. 7 years. So believe it when you see it. It's okay. Hit the Doge soapbox. What's going on with Doge? Let's just pull open a few charts quick. What's up, brother? It's been a while. It's been too while. Oh shit, look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at our doodle. Our doodle spot on here. Look at that. We're looking for a broadening descending wedge, and our broadening descending wedge is coming true. It's coming true. We have a high. We have a lower low. A little bounce. Not much else is going on. This could end up being a very rounded bottom, or the broadening descending wedge does, probability dictates, resolve to the upside eventually with a back test of the high part of the trend. We're not there yet. If Doge breaks through 0.666 cents, gets spicy. Gets spicy. Do you have Shiba? I bought $100 of Shiba October 1st, 2021. I think it's worth $150. I do not. I'm not a Shiba fan. Not a Shiba fan. Just an ERC20 token. Does that mean that we don't have the hot fire on the Shiba charts? No, of course we do. Of course we do. Wow, that sucks though. Shiba is above its descending high trend. I haven't looked at this in a while. It is above its descending high trend. However, our trade was straight fire. Yes. Not all the mar, that one was. The problem is where you rejected from is very ugly. You had your previous support back here after the all-time high. It held, it dumped through, you back tested it, and now you're falling. So you do have this descending high trend that could save you. You might get a bounce off of that. You need a higher high, so like bloop, back up here, that could happen. But if you lose this descending high trend, you are looking, oh, that's maybe exaggerated. You lose this high trend, you're definitely looking for a retest of your support. After a lower high, that is going to have a lot of selling pressure on it. You may see potentially even lower. Got to hold that descending high trend. This is back where I bought Shiba. Right here, October 1st, I marked it on the chart. And even that kind of awesome buy is only up, yep, I was right, 40%, 50%. I'm not looking to get any more. I bought it because just so many people were talking about it, and I was like, F it. F it. I just am going to have $100 worth. And so if this goes to the moon like these crazy retail think, yeah, I'll have a little bag that I can dump on them. At the moment, though, not too much going on. Really, 50871 is kind of the price I'm looking for. That was your May wick low. You don't want to see that break. You don't want to see that descending high trend break. So far, okay, but this lower high really does worry me. That trade was just too good for its own good. It actually didn't totally fill, so I'm talking a little bit of bullshit out my ass here, but our entry was perfect and our take profit was in the right spot. We just missed it by a fraction of a percent. That is life. That is life. I don't like the lower high. Good luck, Shibas. Good luck, Shibas. Shibas Enos. Quant. We already looked at Quant today, brother. Do I even have it up still? Where is it? There it is. We looked at Quant. I'm not going to really go through it again. This is what I'm looking for here. We're looking for a break of 152 for an upward move to 290. We got the break of 152 a little bit ago, but now we're kind of just waiting on what's going to happen. Going along right now, extremely high risk in my opinion. I would be looking for 175 or 152 to look to take a potential long towards 290. If it goes straight up, oh well, you missed the ship, but you'd rather miss the ship than board the Titanic. That's what I say. And that's what a very smart guy named Rico says. Rico, who probably isn't here. There, 2 trades like that. Looking for a back test of support. Looking to stop maybe just below your kind of wick low there. Playing it up to 290. Those are going to be some high risk rewards. I like them. I like them. This time have a portfolio breakdown somewhere. That is a video I really should make, like a short video, Anthony. I'm literally right now going to message my editor and be like, yo, idea. Let me say, I'm typing it literally. Yo, idea. Video on my portfolio breakdown. Breakdown. Those are good videos. I know I've seen BitBoy and them do them and they get a lot of views, so. But I can tell you right now, the easiest part. I can just tell you, really easy. My portfolio right now is about 70% Bitcoin, 10% Ethereum, 5% Litecoin. That's 85%. And then I have, let's see, Doge, ADA, XMR. What are my other top one? BNB. A lot of them though, so what I always preface this is I didn't invest. A lot of these weren't my biggest investments. Litecoin was one of my biggest ones, but it's number 3 now because it hasn't really gone anywhere. But for instance, okay, Doge is, it goes BTC, ETH, Litecoin. Doge is my number 4. Number 4 largest. And I have about 2% in Doge, but I didn't purchase that much Doge. I simply bought Doge a long time ago and it increased in value a lot. BNB coming in at number 5. And what percent do I have there? 1.79% BNB. XMR is after that at 6. Where is this? This is hard to read. XMR 1.1%. So underneath that, I'll just rattle them off. XMR is about 1%. So everything that I name next is less than 1% of my portfolio. Matic, Mana. Oh, ADA is above XMR. I don't know if I said that. Matic, Mana, BAT, PAX-G, ETC, ZEC, HOT or Hollow, ENJ, XLM, DGB, Theta, TRX, T-Fuel, XRP, XVG, Solana, Atom or Atomic, Loom, DCR, BTG, VET, VTC, Poly, Hive, KNC, Neo, Raven, HBAR, ADR, BCH, Harmony One, SHIB. It gives you an idea. Am I just giving away too much info about my portfolio? Dun dun dun. Algo.ZRX, Link, Kin, Uni, RDD, FTM, PIVX, BTT, ARC, ONT, MKR, Tezos, STMX, ZEM, KMD, SC, KSM, Dash, PPT, Bomb, Waves, Rep, MCO, Aeon. I could go on if you'd like. So to give you an idea, I have hundreds of positions that are less than 1% of my portfolio. And people will say, why would you do that? Well, I mean, I've been very successful in investing in crypto, so I might say, why would you not? But for instance, Doge at one point was way, way down there on that list. I think I invested a total of $150 in Doge. Now it's my number 4. I sold 5 figures worth of it, and it's still my number 4. So I like to cast a wide net. I like to not overinvest in things. I am a Bitcoin maximalist, but I'm a smart Bitcoin maximalist. How am I going to get more Bitcoin without the other altcoins? I don't know. You have Pibics in 2017. Yeah, I just held on to them. A lot of those are really underwater, like way underwater. Why would I do that? Because, Aisha, darling Aisha, the beautiful Aisha. Let's give you a wrench. Where are you? Why would I do that? Well, because look at my Doge situation. Look at my Doge scenario. At one point, Doge was down that list. I don't know, like a 50 or 60th spot. Without doing anything, it went all the way up to, I think it was actually my second largest at its peak. Something like that. I took some profits, and now it's still my number 4. So by casting this broad net, I've managed to get a lot of really solid opportunities. BNB, I'm up 4%. What is it? Over 1,000% on BNB. Matic, I'm up over 1,000% on Matic, and these are like 2, 3, 4,000 maybe percent. T-Fuel, Doge, obviously. By casting this wide net and not over-investing in things, I'm able to pick up small caps, and I'm able to just sit on them. So a lot of those things I named, maybe I'm really not up on, but I only invested at most maybe $100 or $150. So if I'm down or whatever, I don't really care. It's not a big loss. But then you get those little gems. It's impossible to know the winners of the future, but it is not impossible to cast a wide net, invest intelligently, invest conservatively, have small positions, and then you can just ride the waves. If Doge never went up again, I'm down at most, if it went to zero, $150. I didn't know Doge would go to 69 cents. Nobody did. But I had it, and I started taking profits. And so now it's still in my number 3, despite I sold more Doge last year than anything else. And it's still big enough to challenge my Litecoin bag, which is pretty big, like pretty impressive. So that's my reasoning. It doesn't mean that's what's right for you, though I obviously would recommend a similar strategy. It doesn't have to be the same coins, although I would highly, highly recommend Bitcoin be the majority of your portfolio. You're not going to listen to me. Sucks. I've told people a bajillion times, and they don't listen. If Bitcoin is not the majority, so 51%, but I still think that's low. I'd prefer like 75%. I'm a little low on it right now myself. You're going to have a bad time. Learn about market cap after FOMO and Shiba. Fun fact, actually, in the short series, pinned to the top of the chat, there is, I think, one of the more recent ones. Oh, I organized them by popularity. Crap. I'm going to organize them, I guess, by added. There we go. Refresh. One of the most recent videos in our short series is exactly that. Is about market cap and unit bias, a topic I'm very passionate about. Whew, we're bleeding viewers. We're down to 380, not bad. 400. We were up at like 600. We've been live a long time. I'm gonna lose my voice. Bitcoin does look like it wants to do something. It's probably waiting for us to leave. Dale Russell, you'll earn it someday though. You have about 75% Bitcoin too. You're a champion. You're a champion, brother. Doesn't mean I'm a maximalist, right? Listen and read in between the lines. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, but my portfolio is not 100% Bitcoin. I still think even outside of my maximalism, you don't want less than 50%. You definitely don't want 0. But this is, if you listen to people who have been in this space for a long time, they're all going to have they're all going to say something similar. We did look at ADA. I'll throw the chart up, but I don't want to go over it again. I tweeted this, so you should follow me on Twitter. You would have got this earlier. How much DOT do I have? I don't know. Some less than 1% of my portfolio is DOT. But I have some DOT. Cast a wide net. Don't over-invest. Those are just the trick. That's the trick to winning this space. Don't over-invest. Cast a wide net. Focus on stacking the stablest asset in crypto, which is Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, you can say stable coins or whatever. Bitcoin. Stable coins aren't an investment. Though USD is a position. I digress. Responded to the pick on YouTube, right on. Make a video, 10, 20 small coins to drop money in, $100 each. Well, Anthony, that's the thing is like, I don't want to shill because that would just be me shilling, right? I don't want to shill because really the point of what I just explained is that it doesn't, I hate to say this because it sounds irresponsible, but it doesn't really matter. That's the whole point of the wide net. And so I said 100, right? I said $100, but that doesn't mean that's the right amount for you. The right amount for you is going to be unique to you. That could be $5. That could be $20. If you have more money than me, maybe it's $200. Maybe it's $1,000. Like, it's proportionate to how much capital you have. The important part, and the reason why I explained it this way in percents, is because that's the takeaway. That's the takeaway. I have many positions that are less than 1% of my portfolio. What am I doing? I'm limiting my risk on that lower cap, higher risk, higher reward return potential to less than 1% of my portfolio. That's risk management. The problem is people hear this and then they go, oh, okay, all in on some micro cap crap. And it's like, that's not at all what I just described. Why did you do that? And they have a bad time. It doesn't work. Is one Bitcoin and one 11.5 at the Eastern or ship on one Bitcoin? I mean, that's up to you, man. That's like totally up to you, Shannon. I personally, I would say you want to, like I said, you want to have more than 50% Bitcoin in your portfolio, in my opinion. Also, that doesn't, I didn't include my cash, like my USDT and stuff in position, which I should have in that explanation, but it gets confusing. But it's up to you, man. Like, that's where I feel comfortable. That's what I think the most successful strategy in the space is. You're welcome to disagree. It's not like the most popular opinion, but you'll treasure the day when you're wrench status someday, Dale. Make sure you're in the Discord. It's a good way to start wrench ship. Your wrench hood starts in the Discord. Let's see. Crown analysis. Throw that out there. I wish I had a way to do these buttons better. I don't like slamming them all the time. .88 EDC are not small caps. Oh no, they're not. I would say probably like mid cap. ADA maybe large cap. $1.50 daily. Just see how it works. Ninja Glock. You have no idea how much more successful you're going to be than the majority of people just doing that. Where's your wrencher mechanic? TBD. TBD. Thank you for not exact shrink tech. Thank you, man. Thank you for acknowledging it. I don't want to shill you. I don't want like you to buy things like, you know, especially small caps and like riskier assets based on what I say. Because where's my logic going to be? My logic is either I'm selling you my own bags, which I don't want to do. That's not our relationship here on this channel. I don't show you my bags. I mean, okay, I'll say with the exception of Bitcoin and maybe Litecoin at times, but I rarely ever actually say buy Litecoin. I just talk about Litecoin more than most. Because those are the things I believe in. But if we go, okay, what 20 coins should I get? That's kind of the cool part is if you follow the rest of the plan, if you follow the like 50 to 75% Bitcoin, then you can pick like what's your number two? For a lot of people, that's Ethereum. Okay. You can have like 10% in Ethereum. Then you pick like a number three. For me, that's Litecoin. You can have like 5% in Litecoin. And then you're left with about 15%. And what you can do is just speckle them over anything you're interested in. I really recommend keeping those positions to 1% or less. Yes, with like maybe XMR, ADA, some of the older, bigger cap coins, you can go a little higher. Like I have 2% in those, I think. But it's really the thought behind it is what I like about it is it lets you invest in whatever you want. If you like XYZ coin and I think XYZ coin's crap, that's okay. You can still include it in your plan. You can still have that as a position. I really don't think you should have it be 50% of your portfolio. I think you're going to end up getting wrecked if you do. But just that line of thought that okay, I can invest in whatever I want. I just have to manage the size of it. That's more important than what it is. And so I don't want to give you 10 to 20 of them. I can read them off like I just did on my chart or on my portfolio. But again, most of those are in the top 10 simply because I did the shotgun wide net strategy, and those are the ones that rose to the top. It's not because I invested more in them or picked them specifically. Except for Doge, but I won't keep going. AAVE chart. I'll pull up AAV. I think I've seen a few people request it. This is going to be an old chart. Nice. Looks like I haven't looked at this in a long time. It looks like we had a nice little bounce off 65. Little support ski. This did not happen. AAV does not look bad. Definitely got wrecked along with the rest of the market, but not too shabby. You're bouncing off kind of like, it's very similar to Ethereum, and it's bouncing off of previous resistance. It's down 93% from the high. Don't be confused though. Don't think, oh, well, it can only lose 7% more. Wrong. That's not how percentages work. You can lose another 99%. But 93%, that's pretty on sale. If you were interested up here like 200, I don't know why you wouldn't be interested at 80. I don't know if I have any AAVE, to be honest. Oh yeah, and 65 right there. Wait, no, 50. That was the previous all-time high in 2018. You consolidated there before you broke to a new all-time high. You backtested it. That's actually a pretty slick chart. If it holds that $50 value, that previous all-time high, this chart's set up for some serious upside. This is a little bit of hopium. It's fun, and crypto, pretty much all hopium comes true if you wait long enough. The numbers are absurd. I'm not going to say those out loud right now. You can look at them and draw your own conclusions. I don't want that much hopium. We got to stay a little sober. We're streaming live. But I don't hate it. You're holding that previous resistance as support. That's classic. If you lose it, good luck, Geronimo. But could look worse. There's worse charts out there. EOS champion beard today. Stubble is away. All right, guys, I'm going to shave the beard. Don't worry. I'm going to shave. Actually, I'll shave it right after the stream. Because it's been driving me nuts. It's been driving me effing nuts lately. How do I reckon Moon River is going? No idea. Catch up on your beardy day. The lovely and talented Beardy Day. Love you, bro. Sushi been loved since $1. Ooh, sushi. I'm not into horses. I don't even know if I have a Moon River chart, guys. What even is Moon River? It reminds me too much of Safe Moon. Yeah, I don't even have a chart. I don't like I don't like most coins that have the word moon in them. They left a bad taste in my mouth after Safe Moon. My technique is buying at the all-time high and sweating it until the next bull run. That's Dusto, you're not alone, bro. You're not the only one. Sweaty Dave, that's why I trust Tom. No shill, just TA. Right on, bro. I do shill our sponsors, but those aren't investments. I feel like there's no conflict there. And myself to subscribe and such. All right, we've been live for like 2+ hours. My editor says thumbs up to the video on my portfolio breakdown. He said short form or slightly longer. What do you guys think? What do you think? Should it be a short video or like a 3 to 5 minute like landscape non-cell phone video? Shave it live. Okay, well if I shave it live, it will like my beard, once the clippers hit it, like reaches, it creates so much, I don't know, power, kinetic power, that it flies off in every direction. So I'll have hair all over this room, but more importantly, I'll get it in the microphone and I'll get it in the keyboard and I'll get it in probably in like my desktop. Yeah, I can't do that. I have to like quarantine in the bathroom. I go into the shower, I close the curtains, like, and then there's hair everywhere. It's like I killed a squirrel or something. Shower. Lunacy. I'll open Lunacy. Lunacy is lunacy. That was one of my favorite tweets of all time. Luna, not Luna Classic. Oh yeah, and it's also super confusing because they use the same effing ticker. Even though they don't. They do. It's effing annoying. There we go. I wouldn't touch this with your money. Guys, if you have to do this because you think, oh my god, it's going back to $100. First, watch the video on unit bias. Crap, hit the wrong button. Watch the video on unit bias in the playlist in the video description, or pinned to the top of the chat and in the chat. Then, if you still have to buy it, rewind 10 minutes to where I was talking about portfolio. Do that. Like whatever is an amount of money you don't care about. For me, it's like in crypto, picking up a new position is like $100. I don't care. If it goes to zero, I lost $100. I don't care. I mean, I don't want to, but I don't care. I'm not gonna lose sleep. Do that if you can't fight the FOMO. That's it. If it's gonna go to infinity, like you think in your kind of exaggerated, euphoric, bullish thoughts, then guess what? $100 times infinity is infinity, and you have infinity dollars. You don't need to put your whole, put your house on it. Go small. The smaller the market cap, the smaller the investment you need to make a ridiculous amount of money. There you go. 8 minutes. All right, guys, I'm losing my voice. Don't shave. Just get some beard oil. But someone said that I'm hotter without it. I'm not going to shave like razor shave. I'm going to buzz. Like I'm going to clippers it. I have to. I can't sleep at night. Tom the Squirrel Killer. Hey, don't you put that out there. Don't you say that. All right, guys, I love you all. Check out our sponsors. Check out the playlist. Could you guys do me a favor? Watch that playlist. Like, even if you don't want to watch it, if you turn it on, you don't want to watch it, even though they're highly entertaining, just let the whole thing play through. Maybe even let it loop once so you can like mute the tab. Just let it play through the whole thing. Let's help bonk the algorithm. I know you guys can do it. I believe in you. We got 420 likes today. We gave out memberships. We had like 600 watching. It's not so spicy. I'll throw this in the Discord. Make sure you're in there. Follow me. Subscribe. I don't know. Check out the sponsors in the video description below. BingX is still giving away $100 trading credit to the first 100 people who sign up using my links or our new sponsors. You don't have to make any deposits, so check out the platform. We have actually live customer support from one of their team members in the Discord. No, I want to say it's 24/7, but I don't know. I don't know how often that guy's around. He's answered all the questions. Check it out. Give me feedback. Let me know. And I'll catch you next time if you don't see me on. If you don't see me on live stream in the next few days. Why is this so hard to find? Wow. Google, has anyone noticed that Google is just freaking broken? Like Google is absolutely broken. It's unusable. If you don't see me in the next few days, I will be in Vegas for Litecoin Summit 2022, where I may be, we'll find out after this live stream, I have to call them. I might be the MC for the event. I haven't decided. We'll see. But that's where I'll be. I'll be making some content there. I hope you all enjoyed this stream. I did. I love you, fam. Till next time. Crown out. Arrivederci.